Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. How are y'all today? So I thought I'd come on and talk about one of the tools that we use to help our kids at the daycare center in our classrooms if we find out they don't have spatial awareness or they don't know how to lift up their leg to go up a step or down a step. We had a therapist come in and they work with our kids sometimes, and we had one of these things in my playground and I thought it'd be super cool. And then today I'm also going to talk about mushroom hunting. This is just the craziest thing. I have an employee who mushroom hunts every year, but this year takes the cake. It's getting quite comical in my daycare center when it comes to mushroom hunting. But first, let's talk about what we use. If we have in our classroom balance beams, sometimes balance beams are too tall for little kids like my younger ones, like my 1 and 2 year olds. They cannot step up onto a balance beam if it's more than 2 inches high. So what I do, I buy for the kids, and I'm gonna show you, this is an indoor and outdoor toy that you can buy. We use waffle blocks. So we take the waffle blocks and we also use them for spatial awareness, but we will put them on the playground. Let's see if I can put this one together. So like I was out in the playground yesterday, we have a little boy that this is one of his goals in his classroom. So we have waffle blocks because it has to be like 1 to 2 inches, and we have to teach him with a therapist. She'll come in and we'll also work with him on the playground, spatial awareness where it is. He has to lift his leg, he has to bring it up and step onto the waffle block and walk forward. And then once he graduates from walking on the waffle block, he will be able to go up to a balance beam. So we have balance beams, and then I ordered waffle blocks. So these are like great. They come in a huge pack. Yes, they came in on Amazon Prime. I love my waffle blocks. Plus the kids can build them outside and make forts and stuff. They're also good for inside. But this is what we use when we have kids that need to master the goal of steps because they don't know how to go up and down steps. And sometimes the steps are too high. So we modify it and we start with waffle blocks. So that's something you could do with your kids. If you're thinking you're watching them and they're really struggling with their steps at home or in your daycare center, go ahead and buy waffle blocks. That's a good thing to use with the little kids to work on their large motor skills. So let's talk about my center. We have had some comical stuff happen lately. It is mushroom season in Southwest Missouri, and I teach her every year. She goes mushroom hunting. She always talks about it. She even said last week, it's getting daylight now, you know, the time changed, I'm gonna be going mushroom hunting. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Well, last year she had this really cool spot and then it got flooded out and she got like 30 mushrooms. Well, guess what happened last week? One of our school agers came in and he's like, we had got almost 100 mushrooms. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, we have almost 100 mushrooms. She's like, where is it? And then he just stopped and he said nothing. So his little brother is in her class and he's 2, and she says to him, hey, you have mushrooms at your house? And he's like, yeah, I have mushrooms at my house. She goes, where are they? He goes, in a bucket. And she's like, what? He goes, they're in a bucket. She's trying to figure out where they're going hunting for mushrooms, and the little boy's like, it's in a bucket. So then she goes, you need a babysitter? And I was laughing. I told Mom yesterday about this. This is so funny. So then the school ager yesterday, I go to put on the bus, and I'm like, hey, I heard you have mushrooms. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you got like 100? He's like, yeah, almost 100 mushrooms we picked. And I was like, you gonna tell me where they are? And he's like, no. Well, there's a mushroom code. If you have mushrooms on your land or if you know someone that has mushrooms, you're not supposed to talk about where the mushrooms are. I had no idea. I'm learning all about these mushrooms. So there's a black morel mushroom, and then there's a false morel. And then there's it. You have to look it up. This is like the craziest thing. So now our kids are learning about mushrooms in the daycare centers, and my teacher is just hilarious because she's trying to go find his mushrooms. So the little boy, I'm trying to tell me where it is. I'm like, I know it's on your land. I know you guys have a farm, so I know it's on your land. So I was teasing him and stuff, and the kids have been trying to get me to take him to school instead of riding the bus. And I said, one time before school's out, I will take you to school. I will drive you guys and get permission. Then I'm like, hey, if I take you to school, you can tell me where those mushrooms are? And he stopped talking again. And I was like, what is going on? And that's when they told me the mushroom code. So anyways, my worker went out this weekend to go look for mushrooms. And I said to the little boy, you need to go inside. And he's like, why? I'm like, when we get in there, ask her how many mushrooms she found this weekend. So he gets inside and he's like, how many mushrooms did you find this weekend? She goes, 3. I go, ask her how many hours it took her. He goes, how many hours? She goes, 2.5. And I'm like, yeah, she got a snack. She got a little snack, and you've got like over 100 mushrooms at home. Well, to find out, I messaged Mom last night because they sell mushrooms online. Who would have thought? So now we know that there's a business in mushroom picking in our area. You can sell the mushrooms online. Last night I saw one, I think it was like 1 pound, 12 ounces for $70. Can you believe that? $70. And I guess the going rate for mushrooms, 1 pound when you find them during the season is $40 to $50. So now I'm like, man, now I can teach my kids math. Now we're talking about mushrooms, and now we're talking about, you know, the weather and everything, and mushroom hunting, and if it gets flooded. But the cool thing is, it's entertaining, the kids are learning, and I found this out last night. My worker, the one that goes mushroom hunting, when she was a little girl, her grandpa would blindfold her and take her, and she said it used to be a field and they'd fill buckets of mushrooms, but he passed away and she doesn't even know where they went. But we think they crossed Kansas line because we're by Kansas and Arkansas and Oklahoma by the line. We're not far, like 10, 15, 20 minutes. She thinks that, thinking back when she was a kid, they may have crossed over the line. And this family actually doesn't live far from the Kansas line that has it on their land. So anyways, I thought that was interesting. I don't know. I may have mushroom fever now, knowing what I know, and these kids are all at my daycare center interested in hunting mushrooms. Because I told my parent, knowing me, I'd probably find the poison one and die. But she sent me the thing teaching me about mushrooms, which I'm going to teach the daycare kids today, which I thought was super cool. So anyways, I hope you guys learned something new today. I hope you guys go buy waffle blocks in your centers or in your in-homes. You don't have them to help your kids learn how to climb up steps and stuff and make sure they're meeting their large motor skills. And I don't know, maybe I'll go mushroom hunting tonight. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.